Long ago in ancient Hyrule, there once existed a tribe of savage warriors deep in the heart of FARON Sea of Trees. These mysterious folk built massive stone structures, deifying dragons, owls, and pigs. Remnants of their culture are scattered across Hyrule in the form of great ruins and puzzles. But who were they, and what happened to them? Let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we'll be discussing the mystery of the Zonai tribe, the barbarians of FARON. First things first, how do we know their name? Well, for starters, we're given their name in-game, in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If one travels deep into FARON Woods, southeast of Lake Tower, you will find Floria River. Crossing this river, you'll be immediately greeted by a collection of ancient ruins. These are the Zonai ruins. The complex extends all the way into the forest, up into Dracozo Lake, where the Spring of Courage lies. It is the largest ruin complex of its type, and the flavor text for the barbarian armor set tells us that they were the garb of a warlike tribe that once existed in FARON Woods. Second, Breath of the Wild Masterworks book, recently released in Japan just before this new year, goes into greater detail regarding all the aspects of the game, including this mysterious tribe. For such a savage tribe, they certainly did have a way with stone. The remnants of their civilization still stand today, even after the calamity 100 years ago. Notable sites include the Thunder Plateau in Hyrule Hills, Palmari Ruins east of Lorulean, Typhlo Ruins north of the Lost Woods, the Nest of Pillars across the Guccini Plains, the 3 LOMEI labyrinths in the Akala, Hebra, and Gerudo regions, and the Great Stone Doors that block 2 shrines tucked away in the Hebra Mountains, and Topeka Drifts and the Great Ice Cavern under Hebra North Summit. Note that every puzzle block formation tied to a hidden Korok across Hyrule is made up of the Zonai signature stonework. You see, the whirling spiral pattern is their tribal mark, their motif. It exists across many other constructs, and these building blocks are no exception. Whether they placed them in these arrangements or someone else did after they were gone remains to be seen. These mysterious folk may be wild by modern standards, and recklessly brave, here's to you barbarian set, but their culture was seemingly quite advanced overall. A real-world counterpart to this tribe would definitely be the Maya or Aztec, who were Stone Age in all ways, but highly advanced, possessing a unique numeral system and acute mathematics, precise stellar observations, a rigid hierarchical class structure, a writing system made from using glyphs, and then some. In all respects, they were a civilization. It was merely their primitive tools and customs that made them savage in comparison to the arriving Europeans. I feel that a similar occurrence of the term is being used here to describe the Zonai. On another note, their stronghold, the Zonai Ruins, was built in the wooded valley before and on top of the Spring of Courage. And what does their armor set do for Link? It bolsters your fighting spirit and raises your attack stat. Brave warriors who built themselves a home over the Spring of the Goddess of Courage, FARON. So off the bat we can clearly see that they respected and revere bravery and power. That's fantastic. But what other virtues did they respect, if any? Well, if they're responsible for the puzzle block formations, then they respect wisdom too. In fact, one could argue that, even without those puzzles, the largest puzzles to work out were built by them, the LOMEI labyrinths. 3 massive mazes one must work out to find the prize in the center, a Sheikah Shrine, each of which gifts Link with a piece of their armor set. So what's a score for power, wisdom, and courage? Wait a minute, aren't those the virtues of the gods, and more importantly the Triforce? Yes they are. Want to know what else ties to those virtues which these people are attributed to? Remember those statues I mentioned earlier, the bird, dragon, and pigs? The largest dragon stands atop the Spring of Courage, so there's an intrinsic link here. Those birds, actually owls according to the Masterworks, are universally accepted as the embodiment of wisdom, and some of them even have Korok puzzles to work out, so the element is certainly at play there. And the strange heads with large snouts and raised tusks across FARON Woods are meant to be representations of the pig. I think the piggish form taken by the almighty Demon King and the burly moblins speak for this one quite clearly. Pigs represent power, wisdom, and courage, the virtues of the Triforce. So the question remains, why did these ancient barbarians seem to have a compulsion to personify the aspects of the gods in almost everything they built? Well, it seems that besides being a complete enigma, these people were prehistoric. That is, they existed before recorded history. They actually predated the establishment of Hyrule Kingdom, and quite possibly the ancient Hylian civilization. Hylian as in Hylia, referring to the style of structures like the Lanayru Promenade, ancient columns, Forgotten Temple, and the Springs of Power, Wisdom, and Courage. Places that deify the goddess Hylia, and also predate Hyrule Kingdom. We know that they do, because the same style of structures are prominent across the surface in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and those very buildings and springs have been standing since before the goddess sent the surviving humans skyward. So we're talking time immemorial for the Zonai here. No wonder these ruins are in such a state. Going back to their armor for a moment, notice how well it fits Link? Most of the armors in-game are made for human use, and it seems that the barbarian set is no exception. Except that, considering this tribe were so warlike and ferocious, it seems unlikely that they crafted such powerful artifacts for anyone but themselves, which in my opinion lends credence to the possibility that they were in fact a human tribe. What's more, considering they predated Hyrule Kingdom and they once lived in FARON, there's a chance that we've heard of them before and never realized it. You see, in Skyward Sword, the water dragon who watches over the woods of the same name tells Link that a great many ancient songs praise the way humans once lived in these woods. They were in harmony with nature. Honestly, I think those songs fail to see the big picture. Don't you agree that these woods are far more beautiful now that the humans are gone? Humans lived in FARON woods who are now gone. We may have assumed that these were simply the ancestors of people living at Skyloft, but it is quite possible that this line of text, vague as it is, could refer to the Zonai folk. And if this is the case, then there may be something Nintendo is leading up to in the future. Something even further back than the story set out in Skyward Sword. This is just a hunch though, and it may be we're simply looking too deep into this. Okay, so what have we got so far? We know that the Zonai were a mysterious race of people that disappeared suddenly many thousands of years ago. That they originated in prehistory, long before the establishment of Hyrule Kingdom. We know that they seemed to embody the virtue of courage above anything else, but revered a variety of animal figures that represented all three virtues of the Triforce. They were known as savages, reckless and wild, possessing a warlike nature, and the many ancient ruins scattered across the land that bear their stylings, as well as their armor set, are all that remain to mark their former presence in Hyrule's history.